How to live in the world without constantly feeling overwhelmed? That is the question I hear all the time. We live in unstable times, a period of global change. And many women I work with today, they're not just tired. They feel lost, they feel unsure and frustrated. And the hardest part of this is that the world doesn't slow down with us. It keeps demanding, accelerating, keeps pulling us forward, whether we feel ready or not. And I've lived through several major collapses and transitions, years when everything familiar disappeared almost overnight. So when I talk about instability, it's not speaking just theoretically. And here is something really important I want you to hear. When you have real resources, you stop breaking under the speed of world. In unstable times, resources are what allow your nervous system to stay regulated and your life to stay meaningful. And in this video, we will explore what actually holds you from inside when the outside becomes unpredictable. And this is the next video in our series of Programming Your Best Year. I originally planned differently, but given what is going on right now all over the world, this will be genuinely useful. And in the first part, we discovered what drained you, what took away your energy, what mistakes you kept repeating. And for many of you, the answers you found were pretty uncomfortable. And I want to say thank you for sharing them with me. I read them all, and I will use them to make the next videos even more helpful for you. If you haven't watched the first video, I will put the link in the description below. And today we are moving to the next crucial step. Today we are uncovering your resources. Most people think resources are about pleasure, rest, vacation, entertainment. But what if I tell you that it's not like that? Resources are about energy, about support, about what helps you to stay alive, regulated, present, and resilient. A resource is everything that restores your nervous system, stabilizes your emotion, increases your mental clarity, and gives your brain ability to adapt instead of collapse. And if something feels pleasant, but leaves you more tired, exhausted afterwards, this is not a resource. Let me explain why we so often confuse resources with pleasure. When we are exhausted, our brain starts craving quick relief, quick dopamine, scrolling, sugar, alcohol, binge watching, constant stimulation, and it feels good for the moment. But neurologically, it doesn't calm the nervous system. It stimulates it even more. So instead of recovery, we get emotional flatness, irritability, lack of motivation, brain fog. And I want to walk you through the main types of resources and share my own examples so that you don't just understand this intellectually, but also feel it. So the first type of resources are physical resources. And telling about physical resources, it's not about your fitness goals. It's not about punishment workouts. For me, one of the strongest physical resources is just simple movement. Walking, yoga, sport, any physical activity. When I move my body, my mind becomes calmer, my thoughts slow down, and the energy starts circulating again naturally. Your brain is a physical organ, and you cannot think your way out of exhaustion. And sometimes the most intelligent thing you can do is simply take your body for a walk. The next one is emotional. Emotional resources. Emotional resources, they're about warmth, safety, and connection. Spending time with friends, family, with people who don't require you to perform. For many people, emotional resources are very simple. Time with children, time with the partner, time with the dog. Basically, it's just the moments when you feel accepted, needed, and calm. And for me, emotional resources are also deeply connected to meaning. I feel energized when I can share knowledge, or when I can help someone understand something important, when I can make the life of people a little bit easier or more clear. When I feel what I do matters, not logically, but emotionally, that gives me a lot of energy. I watched many people living through extremely hard times, losing almost everything they had. And what helped them to survive wasn't certainty or control. It was care. It was care for each other, care for the family, care through the action. Giving care is one of the most powerful resources we have. When we shift from obsessing over problems to making someone's life even slightly better, our nervous system changes completely. Caregiving activates oxytocin. Oxytocin downregulates threat response, and the brain moves from survival to connection and to meaning. Next one is cognitive resources. This one surprises people the most. Cognitive resources are about how your mind grows and expands. And it can be learning, reflecting, reading, anything that nourish your mind instead of overwhelm it. For me, meaningful conversation is a huge resource. I have a friend of mine with whom we have these deep conversations, and usually we don't agree. We came from different backgrounds, different schools of thoughts, and usually it's end up like, I respect your point of view, but I will stay with mine. But almost always in a day or two, we send follow-ups messaging like, it was really valuable for me to hear your perspective. And it made me thinking a little bit differently. So that kind of communication doesn't drain you, and it expands your vision a lot. And existential resources. These are the deepest one. Values, purpose, direction. The inner permission to live your life, not someone else's life. When these are missing, even the strongest discipline eventually collapses. But when they are present, life feels more solid, even during difficult periods of time. And here I want to add one big resource, one that people talk about much less often, but it plays a huge role in how we survive unstable times. And this resource is worldview. Worldview is the way you understand life, the picture of the world that helps you live. For some people, it's religion. For other people, it's philosophy that they have built throughout their life, a personal system of meaning and values. And this is not about some objectively right or wrong. It's about what works for you. When we have a worldview, we don't just think differently. We act differently, we live differently, we believe differently, and so we experience the life differently. And this belief doesn't create illusion, it creates inner stability. A stable worldview reduces uncertainty, and for the nervous system, less uncertainty means less chronic stress. The brain functions better when it understands what it stands on and why it keeps moving forward. That's why worldview is not an abstract idea. It is one of the deepest existential resources we have. And I want you to hear it once again. Resources are not what feels good for you right now. Resources are what make life sustainable. Sometimes a real resource feels uncomfortable. Saying no, slowing down, changing direction, feeling a truth that you've been avoiding. None of this feels pleasant in the moment, but afterwards you feel lighter, clearer, more alive, and that's how you know it was real. As you're watching this, I want to invite you to reflect. What truly restores me, not distracts me? What drains me, even in case it looks productive? Which resources do I already have but don't use? And what resources I could intentionally build? These questions might sound simple, but they will change the way your brain chooses energy. And if you watched part 2 of my guided manifestation journey, the deep gratitude practice, you already done half of this work. In case you don't, I will leave the link in the description below, because this is a very powerful practice and it truly shifts your inner state. So please keep these answers, because in the next video we will move from understanding of them to integration. We will strengthen your neural connections associated with your true resources and gently help your brain learn how to recognize and choose them in real life. So subscribe if you want to build a new life step by step where your brain works for you, not against you, and see you in the next video.